Hello, Phelia. How are you today?
We are very well, thank you. All the way from South Africa.
Good. The winter is starting, but the weather is still very nice, as we can see in the back of your garden.
Thank you.
Phelia, I want to ask you about which can be, well, not something that you used to, but I want to ask you first for the very basic wines, the Daddy West wines. We have one in a glass, and we were just trying this wine with the attendance of the masterclass. And well, what I have to say is that making an excellent wine for 20 or 30 euros a bottle is not that difficult, I suppose. It's very difficult though to make this sort of beauty um, in this a very reasonable price. And this is really something if you can do it from year to year. What's the secret behind the Daddy West wines?
I think just to go back a little bit, I had a quick discussion with our winemaker as well, and he just wanted to tell me that to make an expensive wine is not actually as easy because
Ah,
he says that obviously the expectation from the consumer is much higher and different when they buy a bottle of wine of 20 or 30 euro. So it's a different, I think for both wines, you have very different uh, markets that you have to look after. And the expectation of the person buying the bottle of 20 or 30 euro wine compared to a person buying a bottle of Daddy West, the expectations are very different. I think when you are enjoying something like Daddy West, then it's very important the wine must be very accessible, it must be fruit driven, it must be easy to drink. And the challenge for the winemakers is often these wines are also a blend of different varieties, and to find the right components from different regions, even sometimes, and then blend them into a wine. That sometimes is the challenge to find the correct, the different varietals, and to blend them into something that's actually successful in the market and palatable for people. And the most important things, though, at that level is to have a wine that's fruit driven. I think people want something with a sweet finish and that's friendly.
yeah, that's friendly, that's drinkable, that's easily accessible, but still it is quite a good wine. I mean, it's not something very
Yeah.
simple. It's not
No.
something you do every day. I like this wine, and I know people that would pay a lot more for this wine that they have to, because it is so nicely done with all that fruit and all that structure. It's a quite a nice wine. This is the Cabernet and Merlot, right? This is
That's right. That's
the
right.
so we don't have a Pinotage. And I want to ask you about a Pinotage because we'll be tasting two Pinotages of you and one Pinotage in blend with Syrah. And there are several attitudes in South Africa towards this variety. Some hate it, saying that this is just the variety that you can, it can give no more than just a simple drinkable wine. But there are some producers that really believe in Pinot Noir, and they think that is really something you can make a great wine out of that. You know what to do. So what you have to do to make a big Pinot Noir?
Well, I think firstly, I want to say I love a Pinotage. I love a well-made Pinotage, but I don't like all Pinotage. So it really depends on who it's made by. For us at Lyngrove, we are very lucky that our terroir and the farm is absolutely perfectly situated, and the soils are Tukulu soils, which are sort of a clay soil. They are very it's a very good ground for the grape to grow in. So I think already on the vineyard side, we are lucky to have the nature being on our side to produce a really good wine. And then along with that, we have a winemaker that is very passionate about a Pinotage. And it's always nice when you can talk about this wine. Being from South Africa, it's something that's really special to our hearts and to our country. And I think that is what keeps people passionate about it. Is it's something that's unique and that sort of is your own, that you can go and sell elsewhere in the world and not compete against every single other country. But Lyngrove has been one of the top pinotage producers over the last sort of 15 years. And it's really something that we've always been able to do on a consistent basis. So definitely one of our proud wines in the range.
Mm. Okay, moving a little from wine to your estate. I want to ask you about the residents of Lyngrove. This is the question that Wojtek wanted me to ask as an historian, art historian. This is one of the trademarks of the whole estate, Lyngrove estate. Can you explain a little what's the architectural style and idea behind that building? Because it seems a little different from those Baroque Dutch houses that we see in Stellenbosch, especially in Stellenbosch.
Yes. So the architect, the background of that specific house is sort of more British colonial, which we also say is more like a country home feeling. It's not got a very big history. It's not like someone built it because it came from a long history ago. I think, or we believe, it was just a matter of when they actually built the house. It was the person who built it. It was his personal preference to like that style. The Cape Dutch style that you are referring to are very often duplicates of different styles in different from different areas, from the Dutch settlers who came to South Africa, and quite often they are much older homesteads which were maybe already built in the late in the 1700s. So I think being a more modern homestead for Lyngrove, we didn't have that history of the Dutch history on the farm, although you do find a lot of them. And then often it's just someone who built it at a later stage. Even the home might have not had that history. But yeah, for us, it's just the person who built it, like that style of the British colonial style of a homestead.
Hmm. And that's the place that you use for enoturism, that a lot of people come to your residence from all around the world. And is that just one of the duties of the wine producer in South Africa, or is that something that you really think important and you enjoy that? I mean, what's the meaning of enoturism? What's the importance of enoturism for a state like Lincoln?
I think that if you choose to sell wine and if you enjoy to drink wine, you must also enjoy people, because you cannot have a good glass of wine without friends and colleagues and people from outside, all over the world. So I think that being in this industry, if you are not someone who is happy to share the love of wine and the passion of your industry with them, then you must maybe go and find something else to do. Because for us, it's always, it's wonderful, the opportunity that we have to meet people from all over the world and to have that one thing in common, and that's that people like to travel, and people who like to travel like good food, and people who like good food like good wine. So I think that if you're in this industry, it's a combination of those things, and it's a passion that you have. And I believe that it's definitely not a duty. We love to welcome people, and especially from all parts of the world, to Lyngrove.
Great. Thank you so much, Dan. We're coming back to a masterclass. Thank you for being with us, and all the best to you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.